All right, welcome back to being a better D&D player. So, what I want to talk about now is, I guess this is in theater that we talk about this, and it's called the illusion of the first time. And that is, we can do a run of a play and we have the same character, but we may have rehearsed something forever and really dove in deep into the character and its backstory, and trying out different blocking, different scene styles, doing reverses, playing other characters to try and understand the motivations and the impact on each other. But ultimately, when it comes to a performance, you have to give the impression that this is the first time you're hearing something, and that your reaction is authentic, that your reaction is believable in the context of what's happening. So it's really important in D&D, and this is something I discovered this weekend as well. And that is, I've heard my DM talk to another one of the characters, again, the player who's like really steals from us and will do anything, and just does it with a smile on his face, and always does kind of these outlandish things, which I love. And I was doing an insight check on him. So if you look at, here's your character sheet, here's insight. So yeah, I click on that, it rolls the die, I get a +2 bonus because I'm wise, or that's one of the things I chose as a druid, because it affects your bonuses and things like that. It gives you more effect to what you're doing. Anyways, so I may have gotten a 17. In fact, I think I did get a 17, but he got a 19 because he had a +7 for deception. And that's the way that our DM ran it, is that he said, okay, he's going to do his deception roll and you do your insight roll. And even though I heard him talking with the DM, and I know he was doing some things, and it's not my character hearing that stuff. So when I come to the performance of my character, even though I've heard the DM and this player talk, I have to be like, I've never heard this before. And so when I do that insight check and he tells me this thing and he says, lies directly to my face, my character has to take that at face value, and they have to believe it. And so because I still had the vestiges of this what I'd heard the DM and him talk about, I was like, I'm going to do an insight check again on what you're doing. I can't believe anything you say now. And so I've tried to get insight through their body language and that sort of thing. I really like the insight mechanic and how it's described in D&D. It's like, what are their gestures telling you? What is their body language telling you that doesn't match what's coming out of their mouth? And if you're really tuned into that, you can see if what their intentions are, their true intentions. So I did it again, and of course, he demolished me again. I got like a 7, not a 13, much less than that. And of course, he was up in the 17, 18, 19. So again, he deceived me. And what I want to say is he deceived Asher. He deceived my character. So then as my character, I have to be like, all right, everything this person says is true. And I'm going to believe that, even though I may know in the back of my player mind that they've done something terrible. I cannot let that seep into this character. And so I was just like, okay, I have to imbue my character, Asher, with a real positivity towards this character, because it's like, oh, you know what? They always tell me what's going on. And even though they're deceiving me, that's okay. This character totally believes it. And so then I can endow the other character through Asher's eyes with this beautiful, they're so great to talk to, and of course they have a high charisma score, and anyways, so that's easy for me to slip into and to be just endowing them with that almost like fan energy. So there you go. That's a useful thing, because what happened was, in the middle of the night, this character was attacked, and of course I can hear this character talking about all the things he's trying to do to stop this thing from happening. And my character was alerted to this person's being attacked, and was like, immediately, I'm getting out of bed, hustling down there. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect this person who is always so trustworthy and who tells me everything. And you know, there's something very liberating about that. It's like, yeah, my actions are aligned with my thoughts. And that's where the beauty of role play can really get us to explore different parts of ourselves and almost even just put ourselves aside for a bit and to just enjoy the character. And that's where it becomes, you know, this wonderful storytelling thing. I mean, I'm a huge fan of movies. I'm a huge fan of literature and story. And so when I'm immersed in the story and I'm part of the protagonist, I'm my own protagonist, it just feels amazing to be able to improvise that future. And we won't go into the physics of whether this entire universe is predetermined or not, because, well, then I would have just realized right now that what I just said and thought was predetermined. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that. Einstein's block theory, look it up. Okay, so that's lesson number 2. What should we call this? Take it at face value, you know? And it's not your face, it's your character's face. For me, it's Asher, and he's really, his actions are then aligned with his thought, and that's very refreshing for you as a character. And it just starts to bring your, I don't want to say performance, but there is a performative element to playing with your friends. But it brings your performance up a notch, and that inspires other people around you. It's like a morale booster, right? So, and people sense it, and it's just the speed of your delivery. The thoughts come to you much more easily when you've kind of parceled this out, and you've truly kind of gotten into your character and seen through their eyes. And it's kind of almost like a puppeteering thing that you're doing, but you start to live the puppet and start to forget yourself as it recedes into the background and your character emerges. And that's also when I become much less self-conscious about my character's performance and his voice, for example. I'm not even concerned about, you know, the kind of voice that I'm putting on. It's more about, you know, what's going to happen next and how is he going to respond. And it's almost like I become the one who is the audience and just, you know, waiting to see what he'll do next. All right. Thank you. Take it at face value.